James will not want to stand up today. So I'm going to be talking about this one a little bit. James is going to be talking about this one. And neither one of us are going to talk about this one. This one was so bad it was unwatchable. So I would not recommend this one. Not even for a few minutes. Not even if you want to try to find something to sleep to. It's that bad. So anyway, I guess I should drink my gross juice before I get started. Wow. So bad. But it's doable. Anyway. I'll hold up the case with this one. Maybe it'll stay. I don't know. So, I love this Who is America. It was great. I laughed quite a few times. It's not that long, only 3 hours, 11 minutes. So even shorter. Anyway. So I was, I'm skipping ahead in my reading because I will actually be putting this in a blog post. I'm doing 3 blog posts, writing 3 at the same time right now. So to give myself a little bit of leeway. And so I watched this morning, and it was reminding me of the one that I'll be putting this video attached to, and this is gonna come on the one with Trump and all that, and the Michael Moore stuff, and well, Sacha Baron Cohen deals with political issues in a much more comical way. Really, he pulls it off better than Michael Moore. Michael Moore doesn't quite do it very well. But anyway, I don't think there's anything that's going to keep that case up. We'll see. So, Dr. Marcel Wolf, WLED, and I don't know what that means. Strong connection between frequency and cancer. Dr. Samuel Wilhelm Tesla, Dr. Robert Becker, all understood this. Albert von St. said that cancer is due to a submolecular electronic disturbance. He won the Nobel Prize, metabolism. He understood vitamin C, father of modern biochemistry. Tesla knew electricity. He tried to bring DC, but that wasn't good for the money people. Ozone and PEMF, pulsating electromagnetic fields, everything in life pulses. It pulses. Everything in life pulses. In the moon, there is no PEMF. That's why nothing lives there. We have evolved and adapted to and are dependent on energy that we weren't aware of. 1962, Yuri Gagarin was only out in space for 1 hour 48 minutes, but was beyond the reach of these frequencies in our environment. And in 1 hour and 48 minutes, he had severe osteoporosis, decreased metabolism, loss of perception, depression, which affected him for the rest of his life. He committed suicide age 37. If we expose ourselves to PEMF, increased bone density, increased metabolism and perception, and increased sense of well-being. So create PEMF. It's not like cell phone frequency, which is billions of hertz per second. So he says a sine wave in nature looks like the waves of the ocean, and they're calming. But if you picture the cell phone frequency, it's billions of up-down per second, right? And because it's billions of hertz per second. So if you imagine that, then it annoys you almost immediately just imagining that frequency. And so we can't perceive it with our senses, but it's there. And if he turns on one of his meters, it screeches from the noise, from the billions of hertz per second. It does not like that. But our ears can't pick it up. We are frequency light beings. Bacteria, virus, pathogens, parasites, cancer are doing exactly what they are naturally meant to. They are getting rid of entities that are vibrating below the standard of nature. At 42 millihertz or less, that cell is cancerous. If it is 70, it can't be cancerous. So when cells get proper frequency, cells can detox better. PEMF devices are designed for horses, like the very expensive ones, not just regular horses. The ones that do fancy jumping and stuff. Horse had hip displacement, Cushing's form of cancer, in 14 treatments with PEMF treatments. That was gone, and the horse was fine. So, and you normally think of a horse as being done when they have hip dysplasia or something like that. Anyway, don't just rely on ozone, he says. PEMF, moringa, do everything you can to be healthy. Don't just say, okay, this is the answer and this is what I'm going to go for, just this one treatment. No, why not hit it from a few different angles, right? 4 ounces organic wheatgrass juice might make you feel sick at first, but wean yourself onto it. And he says we're using 42 cents from every healthcare dollar to feed the crisis model. Ask how much they studied about certain, if you go to your doctor and you want to ask about specific things, like say moringa, you're like, I don't know what that is, maybe I'll ask my doctor. Well, ask them how much they studied about it before you ask them anymore, because their opinion means nothing if they haven't studied about it. Like, you go in and you ask them about nutrition. We've had a doctor, James and I went in, and a young woman, she was substituting in for a doctor I had before when I had a male doctor, and she was offering all sorts of nutrition advice. And we asked her, well, how much training did you get in medical school on nutrition? She said, not much, actually. So that's something to think about, right? Anyway, there are people out there that would sacrifice you for money. Accept that and move on. So don't just think that, everyone's out there, they're going to help you out. They're there to give you a hand and working with you to improve your health. Don't necessarily believe that. Cross-section of DNA, 4 billion photonic flashlights in a cross-section of DNA. So he's saying, like, we're light, right? DNA is perfect antenna for picking up frequency. Tesla was the greatest mind in human history, according to this guy. The most important thing is imagination, said Einstein. Coca-Cola went into the water business because we are now buying more water and less cola. So he's saying, vote with your dollar kind of thing. Like, if you want to have more organic produce available, buy more organic produce or whatever, right? The water is ozonated in Montreal and Vancouver. They're using ozone to treat their water. I didn't know that. So that's interesting. And so why isn't everyone? No more studies are needed on ozone treatment for water. He says there's already been a lot done, and so when a municipality says, we're studying that, it's ridiculous, because there's already been so many studies on it, he says. Ionic silver, oregano oil, he says those are good. This generation of children are less likely to outlive their parents. You don't want a cordless phone in your home. Don't die over convenience. Don't sleep under an electric blanket. Thalidomide was the miracle drug. And well, that happens to be what James is on, to treat his cancer. So they'll have one drug and they pull it off the market for something, and then they find a use for it later on. Einstein also said the greatest enemy of truth is the trust in authority.
Don't trust Einstein.
He has
really
curtains made out of fabric. Not Einstein. Einstein doesn't have curtains made out. He's dead. But this guy has curtains made out of a fabric with metal in it to block out some of the EMF coming in from his nasty neighbor. Dowsing right spin healthy, left spin negative. 400 of the staff of Lufthansa maybe Airlines wear the same thing he wears. That would it be it? Yep.
Lufthansa, yeah, it's the German airline.
Wear the same thing he wears. He wears this PEMF device, and it's quite large. I think he said it was a $3,000 device or something. I can't remember. Anyway, or maybe that was another one he was talking about. But he wears that one here, and then he has like a wrist one and stuff like that. So anyway, and you could put them at different frequencies, I guess, for like if you have sleep, jet lag, whatever. So that's why these they'd be using them. So the large one on his neck helps mitigate 80% of the bad EMFs, and the one on his wrist helps 15%. It mitigates that. So enhance your body energy to help mitigate the damaging energies coming at you. We're not supposed to wear linen and wool together, according to the Bible and Torah. I don't remember reading that. Did you?
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah. So linen has a signature frequency of 5,000, and so does wool, but one is positive, the other's negative. If you combine the two, it causes illness and pain. Chlorophyll has a frequency. Fresh has higher frequency. Like if you get fresh vegetables, they have a higher frequency than the other stuff. So he says if it's not fresh, it's dead. It's not going to feed you. Polyester has a frequency of 0, so it detracts from your energy. Eat food with highest frequency, drink water with highest frequency, sleep in a bed that is not metal, he said. Tower Locator is a free app. Black carbon paint stops radio frequencies. If woman sleeps near wall and other side of wall has air conditioner, furnace, fridge that throws off huge AC electro field, that can mutate her unborn child. So that's interesting to think about. Now, why I brought this up for this, to go along with this, because I'm putting this into the Trump thing, is I wanted to talk about the water. Do you really think, like Coca-Cola's moved into water, and it's like, yeah, people are shopping with their dollar and they're buying water rather than Coca-Cola. Should that not freak you out that people are now buying water? Just think about it. When you put that into context of the movie that we just watched with Michael Moore, where the people were then given, were taken off their cleaner water supply and fed water supply, which it was hazardous. Actually, it was the levels in. You just have to watch the Michael Moore thing if you care to see about the levels or whatever. And they weren't disclosing it. The government was trying to hide the fact that the what was it? Mercury? Was it mercury? I can't remember. Anyway, I would have written it down, but I don't remember offhand. Anyway, there was something in the water, lead. It was lead. So anyway, there was lead in the water, and the levels were really high, and they were testing the children, the people who were drinking the water, and it was coming out really high. And the woman who was inputting the data, she was told, just put it all at 3. You know, don't put it, if it's 14 or whatever, don't write 14 and it recorded at 3 or whatever it was, right?
3.5,
so,
I think it was. Yeah,
whatever.
You're right. It was low.
So, so she's being told to lie so that it doesn't look quite as bad as it really is, right? The situation's terrible. They're being poisoned. and the government knows it, and they're not wanting to disclose it. So now keep in mind that I think pretty nearly every environmentalist, any environment scientist today is saying the future wars, and this is not long-term future, this is quite near future wars, they're going to start soon, are going to be fought over water. Water. You can live without food for a while. You cannot live without water for very long. And we're losing our fresh water supplies. The fresh water that we have, a lot of it is polluted. The glaciers are melting fast. We're losing them. We're losing our fresh water supply. So you're going to have to buy your water. You're not going to be able to get any drinking water that you're not paying through the nose for. So keep that in mind. It's not a good thing. They're going where they know the money is. They know they're not going to make as much money off Coca-Cola now. They're going to make a killing off water. Just pay attention. So anyway, you want to talk about the Sacha Baron Cohen film series?
It's awesome. What can I say? It's a series.
Yeah.
I think it's the best work he's ever done. It's amazing the skunks that he exposes or makes fun of. Dick Cheney, awesome.
And well, we didn't recognize him right away. Like
didn't.
I knew it was him because I picked up the video. I didn't want to tell him, but it took a while for him to figure it out. He's like, oh, that's Sacha Baron Cohen, isn't it? Because whoever was doing the makeup, they did a good job. Because it's becoming harder for him to actually camouflage himself doing this sort of stuff, right?
Well, the other thing is he's a good actor. He does accents well, stuff like that. So he's got some amazing characters built up here. It doesn't matter if he's making fun of left-wingers or right-wingers. Almost everyone he's poking fun at originally deserves it.
But anyway, what my point is about the water and about the cancer, about the Coca-Cola itself, whatever. What comes up time and time and again when you're listening to the political stuff like this, or you're listening to the cancer stuff, is they'll be talking about, or medical, whatever, and anything that happens to have any sort of political relationship, actually, which is pretty much everything. The fact of most of the world's wealth being controlled by just a few families comes up a lot. And it's something to think about. You're making whatever wage. Say you make loads and loads of money over your lifetime, and then at the end of your lifetime, you're spending so much money on cancer treatment, and so much money on water, or whatever. And you think at the end of it all, how much did you actually manage to leave to your children? Or, what was it all for at the end of it all? Did it all go like it went? They're selling you whatever. They're selling you Coca-Cola, or they're selling you cancer treatment, or they're selling you pesticides in all of your foods, and they're filling the waters with whatever chemicals they want. They're pulling out the oil and leaving the public to worry about the costs of cleaning it up, and they're just walking away and going, oh yeah, well, we're not going to deal with that, right? So in the end of it all, they keep making the money, you keep giving them the money, no matter which way you're trying to work around it. The money that you have earned in your lifetime doing whatever work, that was close. Then it's really just going into their pockets. So whatever you do, as long as your money ends up going into their pockets, they're happy. So if you buy more organic produce, they will produce more organic produce for you, and that money will go into their pockets. They will always find a way for your money to go into their pockets. So anyway.